On the edge of a small village lived Oliver, who always considered himself inferior to others. His friend Ryan came first in the school race every year. His sister Sophia's handmade clothes were famous throughout the area, and the neighbor's son Ethan, who sang at every event, was the center of attention. Oliver was bored with his life. Every evening, he sat on a deserted hill near the village and wondered, why am I not like everyone else? One day, as the sun was setting, Oliver saw an old mansion on the edge of the forest with a broken plaque on the door, the secret that will show you your true power. Listening to his heartbeat, he opened the door. Inside, an old man, Master Alden, sat in front of a mysterious mirror. There were strange symbols on the mirror frame. Master Alden said without turning, "You have come here because you have images of others glued to your eyes. This mirror will show you who you are, not who you want to be. But remember, every truth has a precious L." Oliver nodded lightly. His image in the mirror began to blur, and then a world appeared where he was lost in his dreams. When Oliver first looked at the mirror's blurred surface, he saw a strange world. There he was, a successful artist whose art attracted people from far and wide to his exhibitions. There was a magic of color on his canvas, emotions that could not be expressed in words. But as Oliver tried to recognize the image, the surface of the mirror wavered and the scene changed. Now he stood in an empty room where the walls were hung with moments of all his failures. The day Ryan won the race, the night Sophia's talent was praised, and a moment when everyone clapped for Ethan's song. Master Alden's voice echoed, "This mirror is not your reality. It is a reflection of your fears. Your power is hidden in a place you have never looked." Oliver asked nervously, "But how do I know what my power is?" The old man pointed to the mirror. "You will find the answer in the battle that is being fought within you." With another wave, a new scene emerged in the mirror. Oliver was standing in a dark forest, where every tree had his negative thoughts written on it. "You are not enough. You will lose. You have no purpose." But in his hand was a shining sword, on which was written, "Self-knowledge." As he cut down a tree, the words dissolved into the air, and a small flower bloomed in its place. Master Alden smiled and said, "Your only battle is with yourself. Kill every thought and turn every doubt into a flower." Oliver took a deep breath. He felt something awaken within him, a power he had never felt before. The scene in the mirror changed again. Now Oliver stood at the crossroads of two paths. One path was filled with shining lights, where people were welcoming him with songs of success. The other path was shrouded in deep fog, where there was nothing but silence. Master Alden's voice echoed in the air. "There are two paths before every man, one that others have made, and the other that your soul desires." Then Oliver looked the other way. The fog began to lift, and he saw a small art studio, where he was sitting in front of a canvas. The colors flowed spontaneously in the picture made by his hands. No desire for praise, no competition with anyone, just a deep peace. "This is your true power, fearless creation," Master Alden said with a smile. "But how do I know I'm on the right path?" Oliver asked. A line appeared on the surface of the mirror, on which was written, "When your heart hums and your eyes shine, that is your path." With a sudden jolt, Oliver found himself lying on the floor of his hut. Was it all a dream? But in his fist was a shining key, on which was written, "Self-confidence." Oliver stood up and looked at the key in his hand. Self-confidence. The word had been a foreign one to him until now, but now the key glowed like heat in his palm. He decided that he would find the old mansion again. In the darkness of the night, when the village was asleep, Oliver quietly left his hut and walked towards the edge of the forest. The door to the mansion was still open, but the scene inside had changed. The mirror was now in the middle of a vast hall, in front of which was a mysterious door. It seemed as if the key had been made for it. Oliver inserted the key into the lock. The door opened with a deep rumble, and a wave of white light burst out from within. Master Alden was not there, but his voice echoed off the walls. "Now your trial begins. This door will lead you to the room inside you, where your greatest weakness lies." Oliver stepped inside. He came to a place where broken mirrors hung everywhere. Each mirror showed him a different image: a scared child, a failed artist, and a lonely man who hid from everyone. But at the end of all was a large mirror in which his image was completely black. "This is your fear. Your fear that you will never be able to impress anyone," Master Alden's voice said. "Break this mirror, or it will hold you forever." In Oliver's hand was the same sword that had the word self-knowledge written on it. He took a deep breath and stabbed the mirror. With a sharp flash, the ink began to flow, and a small box emerged from behind the mirror. Inside was an old piece of paper on which was written, "Your worth is in your own eyes. Until you learn to see yourself, the world will see you in the dark." Oliver felt his tears dry. A new path opened before his eyes. A path that was neither full of lights nor fog. It was his alone. Oliver set off on that new path, where at every step he encountered new aspects of himself. As he returned to the village, he saw that Ryan had once again come first in the race, and everyone was congratulating him. There was no bitterness in Oliver's heart as before. This time, he felt that Ryan's success was not his own failure, but a different story. He returned to his hut and took out the old canvas, which was covered in dust. Master Alden's words rang in his ears. "Creation happens when you shut out the voices of others." Oliver took the paints and began to paint on the canvas a picture that was his heart's desire. Not the race of the Rhine, not Sophia's clothes, not Ethan's songs. Just a wavering atmosphere where a small flower bloomed in its silence. Suddenly, the door opened and Sophia entered. She looked at the canvas and was amazed. This is amazing. This picture is like a silent song scattered." Oliver felt for the first time that his praise was not a measure of success for him. It was just a joy. But that evening, Ethan sang a new song at the village festival. Oliver saw that everyone's attention was on Ethan. The old fear began to return inside him. Will I ever be able to get anyone's attention? Then he remembered Master Alden's phrase, "Your war is only with yourself." He picked up his canvas and sat in the middle of the ceremony. The people were amazed. But Oliver began to paint without looking at anyone. As the picture was completed, people began to gather around him in silence. When he finished the picture, a child shouted, "It looks like our forest, but as if it were alive." It was the village's annual art competition night, where everyone was eager to show off their talents. Ethan had composed a new song, and Ryan was busy flashing his race medals. Oliver also brought his own picture, the same forest seed where a flower quietly bloomed. But this time, he held no sword or key, just a serene smile. During the competition, the judge saw Oliver's picture and asked, "What is the message of your art?" Oliver replied, "It's my story as a flower that bloomed without comparison to other gardens." Ethan's song moved everyone to tears, and Ryan received the medal for Best Athlete. But when it was Oliver's turn, his picture silenced everyone. "Why do you think you'll win?" someone asked. "I'm not here to win. I'm here to make my voice heard." Ancient Master Alden appeared, standing in the crowd. He smiled at Oliver and said, "The mirror is broken. Now your image is only yours." At that moment, Oliver felt that the key self-confidence in his chest had melted and joined his blood. The result of the competition was Ethan first, Ryan second, but Oliver received the title of Artist of the Deepest Heart. But the greatest prize for Oliver was the child who came to him and said, "I also want to draw my own image. Will you teach me?" A few months later, the deserted village mansion had become a small art academy where Oliver taught children. Your image is as beautiful as the voice inside you speaks. And whenever someone asked him, "How did you know who you are?" So he would just smile and say, "I broke the mirror in which I saw myself through the eyes of others." Conclusion: Oliver's story became a legend in the village, not just of a painter, but of a flower that colored the whole world in its silence.